McShin Foundation is Virginia's leading peer-to-peer recovery organization. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, let us get you connected. We can help you build a solid foundation through recovery. Here at the McShin Foundation, we are committed to healing families and saving lives.
Jordan, I never knew you were that funny.
I didn't.
Now, I will say, I'm right before the break, and I'm a teacher by trade, so if I go into your recess time, I'm not sorry. But blame Jordan, because he went over.
Sorry.
I'm a lot like my dad in several ways. The first is I could be up here all night. I love to be behind a microphone, so I apologize. And I wrote what I'm going to say this morning while I was making bacon. So, Dad, you instilled some great qualities in me. Thank you. So tonight, I'm going to start off with 3 stories, and in my mind, these stories make sense. If they don't make sense to you, I'm going to bring it all back at the end, I promise. I'm not just going to leave you hanging with a cliffhanger. I'm not like that. So the first story I have, I was 10 years old, and I went to Catholic school. And we had the DARE program, which I'm sure a lot of people from public schools, y'all know what the DARE program is. And you had to write an essay. And I wrote my essay about cocaine and heroin. Well, the DARE program's about alcohol and cigarettes. It's the only phone call I ever got home that I didn't get in trouble for and it didn't get grounded for. The second story I'm going to tell you is when I was 12 years old, I wanted to have a sleepover. And all you girls out there in the audience, when your parents tell you you can have a sleepover, you're excited, right? Not a lot of parents want a bunch of 12-year-old girls at their house. You stay up till 3 a.m., you eat a bunch of candy, it's expensive, you don't get sleep. It's not a fun time for parents, right? But my parents told me I could have a sleepover, and I was excited. So I invited 4 friends over. And not one of those friends were allowed to come sleep over at my house. And I'll tell you why. It's because my parents were vocal about being drug addicts, right? This was about 15 years ago, before we had all this language now that we have that makes it sound like a disease and not like this like horrid thing that can happen to you, right? Now you say, oh, my parents are in recovery. Well, back then, no, they're just drug addicts. They don't use drugs anymore, but there was no other terminology to describe that. The third story I'm going to tell you is that when I got my driver's license, not frequently, but sometimes my dad would ask me to go pick somebody up from jail or pick somebody up from McShin and take them to work or take them here, take them there, whatever. He paid for my car, he paid for my insurance, he could tell me where to go, he could tell me who to pick up. So the point of all these stories that I've just told all of you is that I was raised to view addiction as a disease, not as an ignorant choice that somebody just made at a high school party. They're people too, essentially is what I'm getting at. I was raised to be educated rather than to exclude an entire population of people. There are 23 million Americans in recovery. Those 23 million Americans know people like their moms, their dads, their brothers, their sisters, their children. I'm not good at math. I was a history major, to be honest with you. But 23 million times 10 people is a lot of people in America affected by this. Am I wrong?
Absolutely right.
Yeah, I know I'm right. And not only was I raised to view this as a disease, but I was raised with open dialogue. When I was growing up, I knew what cocaine was. I knew what heroin was. I knew what alcohol was. I knew what barbiturates were. I knew what they did to you. I had people on my couch every Saturday, every Sunday, every Monday, every day of the week detoxing from this stuff. I saw what it did. I picked people up from prison. I don't want to eat that prison food. You know what it does to you? Not good things. I like my body. I like my chicken and rice and broccoli, okay? Now I'm off track. So I knew what it could do to your life, and I didn't want that. I had a dad who came to every soccer game. I hated soccer, and he knew it, but he was there. Every track meet, he was there. Every graduation, this kind of stuff, he's here. My stepmom, she's not that happy with me right now, but if I called her and I said, hey, Carol, I need you, she would be there in a heartbeat. And that's what recovery has given to me. I don't know what it's like to have a dad not show up. I don't know what it's like to be beaten because he's drunk. And it's because he found recovery before I was born, but he still found it. And another thing that I was raised to believe is that we have to treat this disease and those struggling with respect. These people are not untouchable lepers that you're gonna touch and you're gonna get the disease of addiction. It doesn't work that way. Your family member has cancer. So since Jordan brought it up, I'll bring it up again. You're gonna take them to their chemo appointment, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah, you are. You're gonna be there with them when they're puking over a toilet, aren't you?
Yep.
You're gonna take them to get their meds filled, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna sit there right next to them while they're getting that chemo pumped through their veins, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. You're damn right you are. Sorry. I'm a child. So I don't tell you this because I think you should get someone fresh out of rehab, throw them on your couch, make some popcorn, and make your kid watch them detox for a week. I'm not telling you to go have your child go pick somebody up out of prison. I'm not telling you to have them go hang out at the McShin Foundation for 4 summers of your life during high school when all your friends are out doing funner things. That might be a resentment of mine, but it's okay. Here today. And I'm not telling you all of this to make you feel bad if I've somehow changed your mind, which maybe I have, maybe I haven't, I don't know. But I'm telling you this to let you know that, in my opinion, just like cancer, just like HIV, just like every other disease out there for the most part, I don't think that there is one cure and I don't think that there is one solution, but I do think that there is prevention. And I think that if you start your children at a young age, like I said, I'm a teacher by trade, so if you educate your children at a young age to know what this stuff does, to know how it can affect your life, and to create that open dialogue, so if they do come up with, they have an issue, they can talk to you about it. When I was 17 years old, my friends started using prescription pain pills. They were stealing them out of their parents' medicine cabinets. I asked my dad, I said, well, what does OxyContin do to you? I didn't know, so I asked him, and he told me. And I said, oh, okay, I don't want to do that. Education is power, and I believe that if you educate people on what this stuff can do to you, and you educate them on where to go if it gets that bad, then that's all you need to do. With the exception of everything else that everyone else has said, trust me, I agree with all of you as well. But I think that it starts early, and I think that we really need to just talk to your children. Talk to the people around you. The more you talk about it and the more you destigmatize it, I know you've heard that word a lot and you're gonna hear it multiple times again, the better you are at helping the movement. You don't have to post about it on your Facebook every day. You don't have to call your friend right now and be like, guess what I heard, and you have to believe me. You don't have to do that. But whenever you get a chance to create that open dialogue, just take it. That's all you gotta do. So I guess, and to bring it all back, I would say education is power, and I think that would be one of my solutions to the addiction problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.